everybody. Welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. I'm Kris, and I am joined by my brothers, Adam.
Hello.
And Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room this week to talk more gaming. And for this week's episode, our main topic is going to be on Lego games. Because last week, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga finally came out. This thing got pushed back, and this thing was supposed to come out in 2021, was announced in 2020. But it's finally out. It's out. They broke their cycle of a Lego game or two every single year. They're like the Assassin's Creed of kids' games. Like, it is them all the time. So our main topic is going to be around that and just Lego games in general. Or we might also talk about a few other bits and pieces. If you're watching this on YouTube, there will be timestamps in the description as to what we talk about and when, which you can use. If this is on audio platforms, then just sit back, relax, and listen to the whole discussion. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love to hear from you guys at any point. Jump down into the comments to share your thoughts. And also, if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future content. If this is on audio platforms, and you can also touch bases on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on anything we bring up here today. And please do follow our podcast. Without further ado, let's talk Lego. Okay, so to start off, Lego's great, isn't it? And I mean the physical Lego.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some Lego over there. I'm not gonna lie.
I nearly bought
Lego. I've got Lego in here.
Yeah.
I nearly bought a
Lego's
set
awesome.
over the weekend.
Really? What was it?
They had the new Batmobile.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I seen actually.
Not that bad either. Like, it was like 50 something quid. Like, when,
okay.
like, which is
Like,
obviously
Lego's
that's
expensive.
that's
Lego
obviously
is
expensive.
expensive,
But
yeah.
in comparison, it was next to things like, I don't know, like the Millennium Falcon, and that was like
Yeah,
100 and something.
Yeah. No, it is quite expensive. But
Yeah,
I
but
did
it's the
see
Millennium Falcon.
someone did
Yeah.
someone kind of did like a variation of the Batman trailer, but with Lego, and it was awesome. And they for most of it was the Batmobile, and it was like incredible.
I
That's
don't
the thing
know
with
how
Lego,
Lego-
though, isn't it? Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Even the Lego movie was pretty great.
Yeah.
But I think growing up, Lego and Star Wars, before getting into any of the games, just kind of went hand in hand. Like, obviously, Lego have covered a lot of IPs.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
And this isn't just in the games. This is in general. You can collect Lego, everything, nearly. But Lego and Star Wars, I don't know what it was, but it was like a beautiful, I think like my favorite period was definitely during like prequel era.
Mm-hmm.
Attack of the Clones era Lego was unfucking believable. I remember I
disagree. I think it's Phantom
What?
Menace era. It's Phantom Menace
Really?
era. Yeah.
Okay, it's just that the Slave 1 wasn't available in Lego during Phantom
No, I
Menace
know,
era.
but they had to try
But it was.
they had to try and fill out, because they didn't
Yeah.
have as much things to make out of Lego. So that's when they also did the original trilogy Lego sets.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, they stuck around though. Like, you could still get them during.
Oh, I know.
But
yeah.
now you could also get, or you could get like the two speeders for the
Mhm.
Coruscant chase. You
Yeah.
know, I hope people listening to this have some interest in Star Wars actually.
And
maybe
Lego.
a lot of and Lego. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing here. I gotta be.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing here. But I know like there's been a lot of Lego games since like the 90s. I think 95 they've been making Lego games. Like, because
Jesus,
a lot
has
of
it
them
been
were on
95?
a lot of them were on PC first, like original, like not just IP
Oh,
games. Like,
yeah.
like Lego games. It's been a long.
Yeah, they had
someone,
like, was it like Sim City but Lego kind of a thing?
kind
Yeah,
of.
Is that right?
wasn't our
Something like
auntie? Our auntie had one. We used to
That's the
play
most
at her
Irish
house.
thing on this podcast ever. Our auntie. I don't think anyone else in the world says auntie,
I don't know if that's
And
unless it's an
True.
anti-inflammatory. Or an anti something.
our mom's sister.
Our aunt. Our aunt.
Aunt? What are we,
Aunt.
fucking
Aunt.
Bridgerton or Downton Abbey? Our aunt?
Okay, well, what were you going to say?
Either way, she had on her PC. She also had on disc a Lego game that we used to play, or I used to play.
I don't remember that.
Well, I
Yeah,
played it
because there was like a Lego Knights and stuff as well, wasn't there? There was loads of.
But that was during the era. That was pre Star Wars. That was during the era where it was like the Lego Studios. Do you remember that stuff?
Oh yeah, like the Jurassic Lost World one. I think that was the first one they made, wasn't it? Where you can get little Steven Spielberg on the director's chair.
Oh yeah, but they had to use slightly different names for everything. They weren't using the IPs at the time.
No, they were.
Were they?
I believe so, because because when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came out, then they had.
Oh man, I remember that. That was the shit.
And it was Spider-Man, but it was like they did it under it's the Lego Studios.
Yeah,
because you could get a Lego figure of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, and there was another one which was like Dracula as well, and you get the director and the sound guy and everything.
Yeah,
but they always had.
Right.
In the booklet and stuff, they always had like a little comic as well to go with the sort of making of the film.
And I think it's at that point where they had the mini disc. Remember mini discs? Where they would. You could then make a stop go film with them. Oh, I think at that point.
Wow, I don't remember that either. But wow,
do you remember Bionicle?
Cool. I do remember Bionicle, but that's not Lego, is it? Was it made by Lego?
Yeah, it is Lego.
Yeah,
Bionicle were made by Lego as well.
Yeah,
I think it was made by Lego. I think there was Bionicle games too.
It's just they used to come in like a tub, and I remember the mini disc in it, and like you had to like download a specific player from AOL. This is like way back.
Wow. We used to, you had to dial up to get on the internet. Mm-hmm. No, but I think though, I don't know like how many Lego games there were before the very first Lego Star Wars game, but that game was the shit.
It was the best.
That changed
of them,
everything,
and still the best of them.
Do you know that for a fact?
100%.
Like if you
after
went
not
back,
playing any of them,
you know that.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, out of curiosity, how many Lego games have we played? So, Adam, you've only played that one?
No, that's not true. I've played that one. I've played obviously the original trilogy one. I played a demo of the Jurassic World. Played the Marvel, the superhero ones. Is that what's called? Marvel superheroes?
Yeah.
Yep.
There is an Avengers one as well, but there's Marvel superheroes is just based on the comics.
And I played the part of the Lord of the Rings one. And played Lego Batman.
Yeah. See, you played loads of them.
Played the Lego Movie game.
I didn't know about that one actually.
So Chris, I probably played more than you actually.
You possibly have. You don't own more than me, but you may have played more than me.
Yeah.
Eric, how many Lego games have you played?
Lego Star Wars original trilogy, Lego Star Wars the complete trilogy, complete saga. The complete saga.
They have to rename that now, though, right? Like that was.
Well, the complete saga.
The new one is the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, but the complete saga was jumping the gun, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that was before Disney had the idea of.
That's what I mean.
What they're doing, but yeah, so there was that one. There was those three. There was the Lego Batman game.
Was the complete saga different though than just the other two?
It was kind of different.
It was the two packaged, and I think there was some additions made, but not like a mad overhaul of any kind.
No.
That sounds like you know when you're trying to fill out words in your essay.
Yeah. They were trying to fill the word count at the time. You know, like they were trying to make sure.
It's like I've played Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection.
Yeah. I played Uncharted 1, 2, 3, the Nathan Drake Collection. Yeah, it's exactly that. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Eric. You're okay.
Thanks, man. I didn't realize.
No, you're all right. You're all right. Yeah, we'll count that. Go on. We'll put it right on the fridge.
Well, it was slightly different.
Yeah. Slightly different.
Anyway,
it was slightly different.
A bit of the Indiana Jones one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Lego Batman. Was there a Lego Batman 2? There was a bit of that. I played a bit of that. I played Lego Lord of the Rings. I played a bit of Lego Marvel, I think. Or was the Lego Avengers? I don't know. One of those two. The Lego DC villains. And that might be it.
Awesome. So probably a lot of the same games, to be honest. So yeah, the Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, Lego Batman, Lego Lord of the Rings, a little bit of Lego Hobbit, Lego Indiana Jones, a little bit of that. 2 Lego Harry Potter games, Lego Marvel superheroes, Lego DC supervillains. So we've played quite a lot of Lego games. Yeah, we know what the formula is, essentially. There is a formula.
Yeah.
I like to think that in a way, and it adds to another interesting discussion. I was thinking about it the other day, actually. I was listening to the Replayer podcast.
Okay.
Check them out, guys. They're great. And they had a whole discussion on should Elden Ring have an easy mode?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And on the surface level, that seems like there's a simple answer. But actually, it turned into a fascinating discussion. Nobody agreed with each other, but it was a fascinating discussion. Okay. It's worth checking out. And there's so many areas you could go on it. But when thinking about that, and when I was thinking about the Lego games, I was like, okay, the Lego games actually kind of exist as the antithesis of a From Software game. They are the exact opposite, where the experience and the intended experience is that anyone can play and it's super easy and it's just fun. And it's like, should Lego games have a hard mode? Like, that's the same discussion in a way. It's like, should they have a hard mode? It's like, no, not really. Why? Who gives a fuck?
I'm sure there would be a handful of people that would find that hilarious and fun. If there was like a ridiculously hard mode in it. But should the entire game be that? No. But a single level might be funny.
Yeah. But the other thing is, they have still. And it's one of the complaints of the latest game, which is the Skywalker Saga. It's one of the complaints people have online, I've noticed, is that they still don't do online multiplayer. Okay. It is still
that
couch
should
co-op.
Definitely be a thing.
Okay, so that's interesting. Why do we think they aren't doing
that? Mainly because their target audience are kids. And they probably don't realize kids use the internet more than everyone else. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. Because the entire world has now become...
The way you said it's like an unraveled and they're idiots. No,
like
they're not idiots.
The entire world has become very internet-centric.
You're right.
So what they're trying to do is bring everyone back together in the physical realm and get them out of the internet.
Yeah.
Why make them sit down in front of a screen where they have access to the internet?
Right. There could be an element of that. It could be an element of, okay, so Lego game is rooted in Lego, and the whole fun of Lego was playing with Lego physically together. You're not going to Zoom call someone to say, do you want to play my Lego with me? But then the other thing is, much like that comparison would say From Software, the intended experience is that hard, difficult grind, and you're either into that or you're not, and then it's tough or whatever. And then maybe here it's just the intended experience is couch co-op. That's we don't want you to play online. That's not the experience. That's not the Lego experience. It is the couch co-op. No, I don't know any other games that are doing couch co-op.
Not many, no.
Yeah, so, I'd say an element of it as well. It's
interesting.
Partially which is, I have a kind of an issue with Lego games in that they. It's a bit like the Telltale games that there's like a set formula that they haven't changed. They're just kind of throwing new IPs in every time. So that would require rethinking how the game would work when you don't have like the split screen thing, right? So you would have to, if someone moves off screen, for example, they can't actually keep going, really. I think in the Marvel one they technically couldn't you?
Yeah.
It was like split screen.
Well, no,
that way.
they've now done a thing where the screen is permanently split. And then it will start to like move, and it gets really fucking awkward, and then join.
It does, and they've done away with that in the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah,
it is now you can go anywhere you want within reason, but it remains split screen. But there isn't a thing of you being tied to the person who's with you.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is that it's like it's the effort of actually making it online. The amount of other online games you're competing against It's like, is it worth the effort? If if you're going to be playing online, they're probably going to play Fortnite if they're going to be going online, because they get to play with more people as opposed to just one person. So I imagine it's like if they're going to sit down and actually invest time in it and play it, it's probably that whole experience of, will we just throw on the Lego game, like just sit down and enjoy it together. You don't have to take it seriously, so it's like more banter. But if you're going to be sitting online with your headset about to play games for the whole night, you're competing against Valorant or Overwatch, Fortnite, Halo. Like, those are the games you're competing against, and it's probably not the game I don't think people would pick to play online together. It'd be nice if there was an online experience, just because of the past few years that we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and granted, I think like a lot of those complaints I've seen are coming from actual like reviewers, right? And they're playing the game from a review perspective, but they might have, paired up online with another reviewer. Right. Do you get me?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, we are both intentionally playing Lego Star Wars. Why don't we try to co-op together online? So I think, like, I don't think it's a big thing of like, again, like in some ways I get what you're saying, but I don't know if it would be competing with those big shooter things, because it is a co-op. It wouldn't be like 4 or 5 or 6 people playing together. It's just you and your buddy.
I know.
Much like it takes two.
Yeah, but the what I'm saying is that if I was to like ask someone if they wanted to play a game tonight, and I said, "Oh, do you want to play Legos?" Probably going to be like, "Probably not. Actually, we'll play Sea of Thieves." It's like you're so like. Whereas if they were coming over to play, right? It's like they're definitely committed if they're coming over to play it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And I just thinking from the team's perspective about putting the effort into making a mode like that, the amount of people that are actually going to utilize it is probably not worth it.
Yeah, maybe not. I think it's cool that they still have the couch co-op, and that they haven't gone down a road of like, because they could have gone down a road where the only way to play co-op is online, because that means for two friends to play, they both have to own a copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But much like It Takes Two, where, for example, they did a clever thing actually, where if you bought it, you could give a code to a friend, and you could play online even if they didn't own the game. But obviously they could only jump on with you when you were playing it. They can't play it whenever they want. But then that game is co-op only, whereas this is, you have a choice. Lego games, you have a choice of co-op. But yeah, I picked up the latest Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga for 2 reasons, mainly. One, nostalgia, because I knew they were going to be retouching on and recovering the earlier Lego Star Wars games, and I loved those games growing up, so there's a huge nostalgia factor in jumping into those. And I even decided to start from episode 1, which is not where I would start if I was like, say, if, in a potential future, if I have kids and I want to show them the Star Wars movies, I would not start at episode 1. I don't believe chronological is the way to do it. But in this, because it's all been done,
because they start to get a bit disappointed as it goes on, don't they?
What the fuck? No, because it's just
throwing fists.
It's the wrong way to watch it, right? Like, how satisfying was it watching Revenge of the Sith, and in that Hideo Kojima kind of way, you're like, it's coming together, like it's like,
See, the correct way now is you do 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, Mandalorian, Rogue One, Book of Boba Fett.
What are you doing? Why are you saying
the
this?
Christmas special?
Actually, have you ever seen? Before I go any further, have you ever actually seen the Star Wars Holiday Special?
No.
I've never seen it in its entirety, right? But there's a channel that I follow. My friend watches, which now it's my girlfriend watches. Actually, now it's my wife watches because they got married.
Congratulations.
But it started off with the whole my friend watches thing, where he would show his friend who just hadn't watched like anything that was pretty much famous in pop culture, get him to watch movies and then get his thoughts on them. And in real-time reactions, they would clip together kind of the reactions to the best parts or the biggest parts of the movie. It was like the bits you're waiting for to see, how are they going to
I think I've
to
seen it.
that,
They did the Lord of the Rings, didn't they?
They did Lord.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't like him. He wasn't into
I
him.
know.
He's not a fan. He didn't like Star Wars either.
I never closed my laptop so fast.
Yeah. Fuck this.
Fuck that guy.
I fucking hate that guy. I know they're pretty cool, but they did because when they were going through the Star Wars movies and when it got to Christmas, they decided to sit down and watch the holiday special, and I was like, I've never seen it. So just through that I got clips of it. It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. It's fucking bizarre. It's absolutely, it's bonkers.
Is it on
There's a part
Disney
of me
Plus?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone wants it.
Okay.
There's part of me that wants to watch it all. No, it's bizarre. It's nothing like Star Wars. It is just fucking crazy. It's like the quality of maybe Spaceballs, but it's not trying to be funny. And there's a couple of music numbers in it, like it's a musical.
Okay.
It's bizarre. It is fucking weird. And there's Wookiees in it that look a lot closer to what's that movie with like the Bigfoot who like there's the Bigfoot family.
Oh yeah.
Remember that movie?
Oh, it's that children's movie. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The children's movie.
Yeah, what is that called? But anyway,
I don't know.
they kind of look more like that. It's
Okay.
fucking strange. And there's a whole section where it turns into animation for a while. It's more like a variety show. And it's kind of and then poor Harrison Ford, it clearly doesn't want to be there. And him and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are caked in makeup. I don't know what the budget was. It's fucking awful. Even the guy who is like a huge Star Wars fan watching it, he had never seen it before either, and he was like in pain watching it. He was like when will this end? Checking his watch every so often, going, "Oh, it's only been half an hour." it's like a 2-hour long movie.
This sounds amazing.
So,
I think they should
yeah.
put it on Disney Plus.
Part of me wants to watch it at some point, but I think
I feel like
a few cans are probably needed.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna be more like the Room.
Yeah, I'd say if you make a drinking game out of it, you could probably have fun.
You probably
Yeah,
die.
but I feel
actually.
like
You could straight up die.
no, but I just feel like
Take a shot every time it's shit. Oh god.
the whole bottle. Yeah, I just kind of feel like the entertainment is just watching just a few scenes, the kind of worst scenes of it. I feel like if you were to watch the whole thing, you just get. Because I tried to watch a bad movie one time, it just gets boring. After
I would
that.
love
It
to
just
see
gets not funny because it's just so shit.
like a retrospective looking back, like the people who made it. Their commentary on it.
I looked for interviews because I was baffled.
That would be hilarious.
And I wanted clarification, and I didn't find them. Like I'm saying, like this is more unbearable, and I've only seen scenes. I haven't even seen the whole thing. This was more unbearable than the animated Lord of the Rings. Like this is
the animated Lord of the Rings is class. The Bashki one or the other one?
Yeah,
Amazing.
Sure.
Actually,
Anyway.
I saw. Speaking of holiday
Yeah.
special, right? Just before we move on, I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
actually see
yeah.
a point where someone was like, "What's the most underrated opinion or of Star Wars or something like that?" And Mark Hamill then tweeted, "The holiday special, I think, is underrated."
He's a good troll.
He's a good troll.
He's good at it. I like
man.
it. I saw someone else asked, how did you get into Star Wars? How'd you, and he went, I auditioned.
Very
They
good.
were looking for like deeper advice like on how they could make it, in the industry. But anyway, so
Alright.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, 2 reasons I got Lego Skywalker Saga. One of them was for the nostalgia, and the other one was because myself and Ash, my partner, we enjoy playing the Lego games together. They're couch co-op games, so they're games that we play together. Same with like when we did the Lego Harry Potter games, and we got the Lego DC Supervillains. That one had a stellar cast, by the way.
Oh yeah, it does.
Really?
Oh yeah.
A stellar cast. Michael Ironside is in there as Darkseid. Clancy Brown is Lex Luthor. Mark Hamill is the Joker. Kevin Conroy is Batman. John Barrowman is Merlin. It's fucking.
They have the entire like sort of definitive cast.
Is it
Of
any
all
good? Because
the
it like
characters.
as a standalone
Alright.
title, it's a bit
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like I don't know what the draw is here. You know what I mean?
I got a real. I think it kind of I feel like they really believed in it, especially with like the voice talent is amazing in it. But I think it did go under the radar a bit because everyone's kind of like, I don't really know all those characters. But from a kind of DC fan, like there's some deep cuts in there. There is some like seriously obscure DC characters in there, and a lot of the sidekicks and stuff, because the kind of basic plot is that like the Justice League have gone missing, and these other people are pretending to be the Justice League.
Arrested from bar fights, I imagine.
So yeah. So playing as the villains, you're kind of taking on these other people. Basically, it's like a group of villains to take on worse evil, but they're not being put together by the government or anything like that. It's just, it all ends with Darkseid, basically. But
yeah, you fight God at the end.
You fight God at the end. In every RPG, you fight God at the end. But much like an RPG, you get to make your own character, and then it follows true that this character
is this DC Universe Online, but Lego.
But Lego, essentially.
It's that done right.
Well, and it's a bit of crack. It's obviously all very comedic as well. But in the hub world, so they have like Gotham and Metropolis are very close together, and you can drive from one to the other. But like a GTA game, if you commit crimes, you'll get stars, and the cops will chase you. And you can like rob people's cars as they're going by. And if you're driving around Gotham, it's always raining, and if you go into Metropolis, it's always sunny. So that's sort of the. There's a lot of like jokes like that. Like it's pretty. I enjoyed it as like just like a DC fan and a fan of the Lego formula, but like the Lego games aren't for everyone. You know, they are what they are, and you're either into that or you're not.
Anyway,
so what Lego
Skywalker Saga.
Sorry.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. I've heard a lot of people say it's the best Lego game yet. I am not far enough in to actually say that yet.
Well, what is for you then the best Lego game?
Star Wars.
The nostalgia in me wants to say the original like prequel trilogy, right? Okay. But I think they have made strides since then, and I think like Lego Lord of the Rings was fantastic. Love that game. Actually, I was replaying that not long ago.
They had a cave troll, so
I need to finish that then, because I played.
I found it so fun.
I don't know how far I got, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
What I found funny about that one was that they used the actual voice acting from the movies, and that was so dramatic, but they paired it with such fucking silly sequences that I thought it was utilized quite well. Like they had the saddest music when Boromir was dying, but he'd been shot by a chicken and a broom, like and like it's just and like Sean Bean's dramatic lines being delivered, but like. And then little X's on his eyes, like, oh. It's like, I do find the tongue-in-cheek stuff funny. I've only played episode 1 so far of the Skywalker Saga. Couple of things wouldn't make me laugh because, you know, it's a lot of it is aimed at kids. But genuinely, there were a couple of sequences that made me and Ash laugh out loud. So that's a credit to them. And it's not, like, I'm not like looking for the laugh, but I'm also not being like, you won't make me laugh. You're for kids. You know, it's just if it makes me laugh, it makes me laugh. There was a thing about Darth Maul that I found very.
Is
funny.
it different then than the?
Oh, it's different. Oh, it's very different. It's very different.
All right.
It's I feel like I haven't had a good, like a full on representation of it yet. I was like, this is very rushed, like really rushed, really rushing through the story of episode 1.
Is it really rushed?
It's really rushed. If I could say something else about it, it's really rushed. But I
do have the worst thesaurus.
But it's really, what's the word? Rushed. But I found online, like one of the other reviews had said that they played obviously the whole thing, and they said that both episode 1 and episode 8 were very weak. So then I was like, maybe it was a bad idea to start chronologically, but I want to do. I think
I have made a mistake.
Maybe it was a bad idea to start with one of the worst received Star Wars. like no one likes episode 1, right? Adam does. Look at him.
I fucking love it.
Well, I'm sure now with the sequel trilogy, everyone's looking back at 1 and going, "We judge you too harshly."
Well, I've never ever had a problem with the
I like
prequel trilogy. I always loved them.
Well, I
like them. There's problems. I like them.
But I'm just saying.
I was pretty
majority of
shocked to
people
find
dislike
out that when people really hated Attack of the Clones, I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Right.
Yeah, but you were a weird kid who liked politics. Not everyone liked politics back in the day.
What? There's like
That's-
fuck off.
No, I
politics
just for
in that.
some reason
There's
tend
quite
to
a lot of
latch to
politics
the
Episode 1 is way more political. It's actually
Yeah.
about trade agreements.
It's
like.
about trade federations. But I just tend to latch to the ones that people really
gonna
hate
love
for
this.
some reason. Like I really loved
Episode 5.
I really loved Iron Man 2 and Thor 2. And those
And
are
the
the
Last
ones.
Jedi.
Oh, that's not true. Well, actually, like even when seeing The Force Awakens and everyone was like coming out of it going, "Wow, that was really good." I was like coming out going, I feel like this is not going to go well. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey! Title of the
said the
episode. No, that makes it sound like we hate Lego games. Maybe not. Yeah, so I'm like I said, the sequences are happening too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
This time I did check the thesaurus.
But the film was a bit like that, no? The first
It
movie?
is a bit. It is a bit.
It's
It is a
like-
bit. But like I know
The
I
negotiations
can't-
were short.
The negotiations are fucking non-existent here. They are really like flying. And now I have to say, I enjoyed pod racing. Like that was pod racing.
Okay.
Was
Like,
that
the
bit
pod racing
long?
was
Because that bit in the
fast.
movie, is long.
very
So you
long.
have
It actually was
like
one of
3
the
hours
longer.
of podcasting.
It actually was one of the longer missions in the Phantom Menace. It's kind of in first person view as well, and it's super fast. And you do the full 3 laps, and it was great.
Why is it
This
first
is
person then?
I don't know.
Was
Maybe
It wasn't
the
in
original
old-
one wasn't. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying though.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the whole thing is overhauled. It's not a remaster.
That
of-
is actually
at all. Like it's
with
totally.
the pod race and everything. That is one of those scenes or movies that, while it's rushed, we could probably do a little bit more like stretching out. It's a good thing
Sure.
that's a movie that was not directed by like Zack Snyder. Now I know he wasn't on the screen, but could you imagine you went to slow mo and pod racing? That scene's already long enough. Like the fucking
Right,
thing is
yeah,
4 hours.
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
Oh,
extended version of the pod
I just
racing.
want a movie about that.
Just
pod
that.
racing.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed is the UI is very messy. I find
Okay.
there's too much in the UI, and I'm trying to see if there's like settings that.
How
maybe
can you
turn-
have too much UI in a Lego game? Like what
Yeah,
is there?
There's a lot.
Like is it
there's
like
a-
all the little character heads or like what's
No. No. There's like
Do they
your
have, like,
your
writing
map.
come up?
Your map, and then all of your like side objectives and stuff. So this game is huge.
that's weird.
You are able to, in free play mode, which I think is where the game really probably excels. In free play mode, once you have unlocked a planet, you can travel back to any planet with any character anytime you want.
Okay.
And each planet is a hub world. There's fucking loads to see and do.
So there's mini kits everywhere.
There's more than mini kits, man. There's over 1,000 Kyber bricks that you can collect and find in the world, and a lot of them 1,000, and a lot of them
This sounds
are
like the
like,
best platinum run ever.
oh yeah, I'd say the collectionists are gonna love this shit. Like a lot of them are hidden behind like hidden objectives or side missions and that kind of stuff. There's plenty of content. It just depends on, but do you like Lego games? Like, because
Okay.
that it's more of that content. But like I was like walking around Coruscant going, this is amazing. Look at Coruscant. It's fucking
Looks
huge.
just like this.
And you can get like a taxi to go to different points of Coruscant. So you can go visit the Jedi Temple and explore that, or you can just hang around the Senate area and stuff. And then on Tatooine, I can freely explore Mos Espa. And then later on, I suppose, once Mos Eisley is unlocked, I could probably go visit there. I can go visit Naboo, and I can decide to explore either the palace or the underwater Gungan city. And that's only the locations from the Phantom Menace. I have yet, like, you open up your galaxy map and you're like, wait, so all of these worlds are going to be this explorable? Like Bespin and Hoth and
all
Endor
but Camino.
and all but Camino. Oh, no, but that's what if Camino is though? I can't.
Oh well,
wait
like
to
it
get to
would be
Attack
there,
of the
but it'd be
Clones.
like I get to stand on this platform because the fucking world is flooded.
yeah, it's fucking raining. So there's that, and then there's over 300 and something characters to unlock. Each character belongs to a different class. And
Well,
within those classes, you can upgrade those classes, much like in an RPG with new skills. The lightsaber combat is far more fluid than it's ever been before. The shooting combat is you can take cover and shoot, and it comes more over shoulder view.
Are the guns are they like modeled weapons, or are they still the whole kind of? Remember, there used to be the megaphone with a little red kind of light on the end of it.
Some are, and some are, some are different. But every Lego figure or character or thing in it is a real piece of Lego.
Okay.
That exists. So it's not like they just made it for the purpose of the game. They had to be able to. It has to be something that, or it's something that they were able to build with bricks digitally. So I didn't know that. I heard that in an interview, and I was like, that's crazy. They actually go in and individually build everything with Lego. Like, I'm not talking about the environments, which actually look like the sunlight is incredible in the game.
What's the ray tracing like?
No, seriously, it's really good. And even like walking around on Tatooine, the sand looks really good, and the sand kind of sticks to the bottom of the Lego figure's feet as they're walking around and everything. I can't wait to get the Hoth and see what that's like, or Mustafar. I can't wait to see what that's like.
You should have called it cold.
Settle down.
Okay, sorry.
I'm up after the band.
Yeah.
There is an element of that where I do think that the original trilogy is probably going to be the best part of the game.
For a reference standpoint, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the one that there's the funniest jokes, isn't it? Like,
yeah, you can't watch.
It's
the
so
original
hard
trilogy
to watch them now without thinking of all the different parodies and jokes that everyone in the world has done. Every scene. I was watching Empire not that long ago, and again, he cut up the tauntaun, and all I could think of was like the long breathing sequence, like on the outside.
Yeah.
Or when fucking Luke falls down, he jumps off the oak, and the couple from like Raw Chicken are investigating the apartment.
Yeah.
Like, he falls down. She's like, and he's like, what's wrong? He's like, just the view is so nice. And then when he lands on the aerial, and the guy goes to turn on the TV because he lands on the aerial signal's gone. He's like, well, this place fucking sucks.
But I'm enjoying it. One complaint Ash had, which she pointed out, and again, maybe people can let us know, and we will play more within the next week. Obviously, like just with work, I haven't played a whole lot of the game yet, but gotten a grasp or feel of kind of some of the new additions, and in particular, the hub world stuff is really impressive. But she did notice there's not enough building. And
I was just going to ask you that because
episode 1
isn't the original trilogy where they started introducing the whole you could build. I can't remember what the fuck you could build. Was it like an 80-80 style thing or something like that? Was that in the original?
Maybe for like particular missions. Not whenever you wanted. I don't think. But
no, not when you.
You could, in the original trilogy, you could mount animals and machines and stuff, and so that's in it. You can do that with different characters, and then also you have with Jedis, you have the ability to manipulate people's minds.
All right.
So you can do that. You can also throw your lightsaber, which I found out by accident, and I was like, "That's cool." So you can hold R2. I'm playing on PlayStation. You can hold R2 to aim your lightsaber and then throw it, and it does where it spins and then comes back to you.
What am I thinking of there? Because was there not a thing where like you could collect essentially mini kits in the?
Yeah, that was mini kits. Yeah.
But then
they're still here.
But in the original one, it's like you're in the canteen is your hub world, wasn't it? The canteen area. Couldn't you then didn't you have to actually build those things as you collect the pieces? Or am I thinking something else?
Maybe. I do know that the mini kits, when
each
it was
mini
finished,
kit
it became a vehicle,
piece,
and then that vehicle was unlocked for free play. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because there was more driving missions and stuff in the original trilogy. I don't think there was any in the.
But I just thought my memory is that the vehicle would have been in the hub world, and you're like every time you get the pieces, it's like you can see it kind of almost completing.
Yeah, you'd see it completing with each kit you got. Yeah, in the cantina. Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the game so far, but I have yet to see whether any claims of it's the best Lego game ever made are true because I'm
Well-
just not far enough into it yet to make that claim.
What's the
fair
frame
enough.
rates like?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty good.
yeah,
Pretty good.
good performance. Yeah,
HDR, yeah, not HDR. Yeah, HDR.
yeah, HDR, 4K, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's there.
Haptic feedback
exists.
Everything that you're about to say, all of it, it's there.
It's there. Haptic feedback, no. And the
Terrible.
PS5 copy and PS4 copy were the same price, so there wasn't an extra charge for PS5. So it was just which console do you want to play this on, because the experience isn't going to be different. Basically,
Switch.
apparently, reviews for Switch are not good.
I'd imagine so.
Apparently, there's a lot of problems on the
doesn't work.
Switch. Yeah, whereas it's working fine so far on
Everything else.
PS5. But let us, if you guys are playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, again, I've barely scratched the surface of it. Let us know what you think of it so far. How far into it are you? And maybe share some tips or tricks that might help, especially anything to do with, like, is there a way I can remove the UI? I would love to reduce that. That's distracting to me. But yeah, love to hear that stuff. But then, just for a fun discussion now, and I did see this on Twitter as well. Someone had put out, like, in the lead up to the release of this game, like, what should be the next Lego IP, right? Or what would we love to see a Lego game of, regardless of whether it's a game you'd pick up, but just that you'd think it'd be a good fit, or you think it'd be really fun or cool to see Lego tackle something like it. So yeah, let's discuss that. What do you guys think Lego should do next, if you could choose anything?
Right. Okay. So when we first were starting talking about Lego and everything, and you brought up Assassin's Creed, I was thinking actually Assassin's Creed Lego would be hilarious.
It actually would.
that would be hilarious. Is that do like having the hide, like your Lego Altair hiding among the Lego priests, going and sneaking into the cathedral or something, or doing the leap of faith into the Lego hay. That'd be
Into
funny.
the Lego hay.
Are you? Yeah. What are you saying there? Are you from somewhere else, or? Yeah,
Lego
go on.
hay.
Lego hay.
The next thing then, because you were then also talking about From Software, and also remind me of Pagan playing Pagan playing Bloodborne, which I did at points. I don't know if she couldn't hear me, but I did at points shout at my phone, being like, "Fucking lock on!" For fuck's sake. Because she wasted all of her bullets shooting every other direction. I was like,
this is why you have to jump on Twitch when she's playing or anyone's playing and actually help with comments.
I would probably. Well, no, I gave her a few tips afterwards.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, From Software Lego games might be hilarious, because then it's Lego games but really hard. But you're just exploding into Lego bricks.
That actually could be gas.
I think that would be gas, because like just the comedy of everything is now in Lego. Like you have the weird like Lovecraftian monsters of Bloodborne, but in Lego. And then you have the like the blood spewing out, but it's all Lego, like little Lego bits popping out of them. The next game is Uncharted. I think Lego Uncharted would be awesome.
So you think they should tackle video games as opposed to movies?
Yeah. I think that because you're getting something that people already love, so now you're taking the seriousness out of it and you're bringing a lightheartedness to games that are usually regarded as quite serious and quite story driven.
I had a similar, because I actually tweeted it out as my reply. I was like, I would love to see them do Lego renditions of a famous video game IP.
Yeah, because when you think about the movies,
I said
like
Metal Gear
what
Solid.
have they not done? You know?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Like Lego Metal Gear Solid, where it's like the quadrilogy. I think that would be gas, and also it would mean that they'd probably have to bring out actual Lego figures of the Metal Gear games, and I would 100% buy a Lego Metal Gear Rex. But I like even like the characters' abilities and stuff. Like it could be brilliant. And going around with the cardboard box and all this stuff.
1 and 2, well, 1, 2, and 3 would translate so well.
Yeah, I mean 4, there'd probably have to be a lot of like changes made. Like again,
a very short game.
It'd be a very short game. Yeah, if you held down X, it was. But Adam, any IPs in particular that you think would be a really fun one for Lego to touch?
Have they done Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Oh, they have done.
Yeah.
Pirates of
Lego
the
Pirates of the Caribbean is
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they. It's just like when you think about like movies and shit. That like they've pretty much touched on nearly everything that exists. Like everything that you would want as a Lego game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
All
So
the big
yes,
budget
I
franchises.
was also thinking in terms of the video game space.
Ah.
The one thing that I, with the Lego games, I feel like they do a great job at like doing skits on, whatever IP they're touching, the story beats,
Mhm.
But I find that it's not quite, as the games have gone on, and it's probably what my issue with some of the Lego games is that they tend to lose the Lego-ness of them. It's just a Lego version of an IP. So what I would love to see is something like Command and Conquer or Age of Empires, the actual building with Lego.
Yes, 100%.
That'd
Wow,
that'd be fantastic.
that's wonderful. Age of Mythology Lego, please.
Yeah. That'd be
class.
Yes, please. Yes, please. That'd be great. There's no actually. Let us know even when you're on YouTube. Jump down in the comments. But if you're listening on audio platforms, get in touch. Let us know what IP you think Lego should do next, and if it's a game or a game series, which one should it be? Not Among Us. That would be no different than Among Us is.
No.
No
It's
need for
like
that.
a game
But
with
like-
with Lego skin nearly.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking actually it would be gas, like what Eric was saying about like the From Software games, for example, but like real like
Oh, yeah, I was
Lego
thinking like,
Lego versions of like horror games, but like they're
Resident Evil.
just Lego.
But I was even thinking like, because if you're keeping the voice acting, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like the 2018 God of War, but as Lego. So they just have Kratos' deep voice coming out of this Lego
Lego
guy.
figure.
Yeah. Which would just be, and then like you're ripping apart all these like the Wolvers and
But
stuff.
it's just Lego pieces.
But it's Legos pieces breaking off. I just think that idea of getting something really serious and keeping that voice acting, keeping that very serious, but then you're putting it into Lego almost creates the skit in itself.
Yeah, it does in a way. Yeah, that could be really funny. And I wonder if it should be just like really like maybe it should even just be like Lego PlayStation Classics or something like that, where it's like there's a couple of games in there, like they're like different chapters or episodes or whatever, and they're really like cut down versions of these really famous video game stories. The Last of Us in Lego. What would that be like?
Did someone do something like that actually?
There's actually a Horizon Forbidden West Lego.
Is there?
Yeah,
There
I
is.
saw that, yeah.
You
There
can get
is,
the
yeah.
tall neck in Lego,
Yeah.
which I thought, and actually when I saw that, I was like, it's possible. It could happen. A Lego video game property could happen. And when you run out of all the big movies, where do you go next? I mean, maybe The Matrix. I don't know if that would work well as a Lego game, though.
Speed.
The Fast and the Furious. I guess. Anyway, do let us know. Did you guys see, just when we're coming up towards the end of our podcast this week, nothing more on Lego at the moment, but did you guys see anything about Unreal Engine 5? They had a showcase last week.
I saw a
I
clip
know-
like there was like a Superman kind of thingy someone shared. I don't know if that was
looked
anything to
like-
do with the Unreal Engine
I
showcase.
know it was because that I seen clips of that and that looked like it was like a Superman sort of showcase. But that's not the first thing came to my head.
I
First
watched
thing
the
came to-
showcase. I didn't see anything about Superman.
No,
the first
then
thing
I
that
don't
came
think
to
it's
my
part of the
head
showcase then.
Was the Matrix, because it was the Matrix.
yeah.
city.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was
I
that
flying
city.
through.
Yeah.
They explained that. Yeah.
And something about CD Projekt Red is coming on board with it, and I think a few other people are coming on board with it.
Yeah, and Crystal Dynamics announced that they are currently working on the new Tomb Raider through it.
Yes.
So the new Tomb Raider is officially announced, essentially.
Ooh, I wonder, will
Yeah,
that be a
tasty.
continuation of the ones that are here? Like, is that a fourth one, or is it like, okay, let's do that again, let's reboot,
Right.
one more
Let's
time,
reboot again. Yeah, if in doubt, reboot. Oh man.
except
imagine Lego-
it's year 2, Lara.
I know I said I was done. Yeah. I know I said I was done with Lego, but man, imagine Lego Tomb Raider. Like,
Yeah, well, again, it's just
Fucking
it's
great.
kind of it's just reskinned existing games, I think, isn't it? Like I personally would love to see.
But, no, but also done through the Lego lens, I think. Like still collecting studs, still like you hop on things, you build things, still like, all that. Like
with Tomb Raider that'd be class because you'd be building like the vines and stuff to help you climb up. You'd be building the boulder that you.
But isn't the fun thing about Lego games like also the amount of characters you can unlock? And I don't know if Lara.
That's why I was saying like maybe if they did like a Legends thing where it's like
I think
there's a couple in there and then you see them all these Lego figures coming together and you're like, wow, look like video game icons or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Basically like the end of the Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie where it's just all these characters from fucking everything coming in.
Man, what a movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. That was good.
There's so many characters in there. And I was like, they're all legit, worth a Google. The intro of that movie is fantastic.
Black. Bad never happens to me.
Yeah. Man, sure up nothing bad ever happens to that guy. Really, really good. The other thing I just wanted to like check in with you guys about while we're here and we're talking about.
Are you okay? You want to check?
Yeah, I just want to check.
You okay,
in,
man?
I'll tell you what it is, and it's kind of a follow up to something that we did talk about last week. Again, not a main topic or anything like that. Something we've talked about before. Abandoned.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because in the last week, a lot of people have interviewed Hasan Kahraman.
Okay.
I'm more confused. It was supposed to create clarity, but I'm like, what is happening? So I watched the interview with IGN. And I watched most of. I didn't get to see it all only because I had to go to work. I watched most of the interview with Colin Moriarty of Sacred Symbols.
I didn't watch that one. Now, was that any different or?
A lot of similar information, except more nervous and less sure of himself because he did that one first. That was the first interview he did.
I imagine Colin wouldn't really hold back either. He'd like, I'm going right in with the questions.
Pretty good, actually. Yeah, like
he's great when it comes to interviews.
He was very respectful, but he was also like, hold on now. So actually, he asked straight out. He went, so what is your budget on this?
Oh, you know? Good. Yeah.
and there was, and that one was good because,
that's.
I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, but like Hasan Kahraman basically said, I can't really share that right now, right? And he was like, okay, but you must have an idea of a rough figure of what you're spending on this, right?
Yeah.
And there was a bit of dodging going on some of the questions, and then, it's strange. It's very strange, but it's also fascinating. It's still so fascinating, this whole thing. And even like what apparently the intention behind the S and L tweet was, because they brought that up. They both brought that up. They were like, well, hold on now. What was the story with that S and L tweet? You know?
Yeah.
And apparently it was just to tease the word survival to the small
kind of though, isn't it?
People who were following it, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Because he said it's survival, but also other words in there as well, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, what other words? What?
Yeah. What is happening? So
Salmonell, and then just a silent ah at the end.
And Colin Moriarty also. It's great interview. It's worth checking out. Like, it is a bit long-winded because it poor Hasan finds it very hard to answer questions. And he's
trying to make up the answers on the spot, like
possibly, but and he's notably nervous. So the interview isn't exactly like a flashy kind of fun interview kind of thing, right? So it feels like a long watch, to be honest, but it is interesting if you've been following this thing and you want to get more information on Abandoned, or at least seemingly information on Abandoned. But like Colin Moriarty even asked, like, how did you get this app on Sony? Like on Sony's, like how did this happen? Like, did Sony come to you, or like how did any of this happen? So even like that kind of stuff, because I was even baffled by that. I'm like if this isn't anything big, how did any of this get swung? Like how did this actually come about? So we were told some story details about Abandoned, but again, it's like is that true?
Yeah, even when he was talking about the story, like it was so. It just sounded like someone just making up something on the spot. Like, and then he talks about the relationship between the main character and his
The villain.
and the villain who's his brother who has an eye patch,
which is the guy with the eye patch.
Yeah, and then like that they like grew up together, and there's like one was always watching the other guy's back, but it's like they're not like, I don't know, not seeing eye to eye anymore is what he said. And it's like, and he goes, that's the story, and it's like, no, that's like, I don't know,
the premise.
Yeah, that's not the story. Like, what the fuck is happening?
In the other interview, he said, I don't want to give too much more away. So he said, like, so that's like the setting. That's like the So the guy with the eye patch is the main character's. Again, I'm only going off the information that we have been given in this. Yeah. But the guy with the eye patch is the main character's older brother. The main character is not aware that he has a brother because when he was 2 years old, his parents died in a fire, and this guy, the older brother, left or something like that, and he never actually saw him. But this guy was keeping an eye on him from a distance. He can only keep one eye because he's missing an eye. But and he set up some like community somewhere, and he is in charge of this community. And if people try to leave, they kill them. And they have very strict, harsh rules and stuff like that. And they have brought your character Jason to the community. He's been kidnapped and brought there because the brother wants him to like live in this lifestyle. But then, as the character, you're trying to escape. And the whole premise apparently is that it's to be like to present what realistic combat would look like, and not realistic. Like, he quoted like Call of Duty as being unrealistic. That's not realistic. So this is more like, so I don't know if it means like, oh, if you get shot once you're dead, or if it means that you're going to have to like, and we know nothing about the gameplay, but apparently the whole thing is built around like the survival horror aspect of it is like, if you were genuinely caught in a situation where people were trying to kill you, how scary would that be, regardless of monsters? So that's the update.
Do you believe any of it?
I have no idea. I was kind of with him for a little while until he said the only thing that made me go, what is happening, is when it's like the prologue, which was that they were going to show through the real-time experience happened. Obviously, it never happened.
Yeah.
They're still working on it. That's going to be released first. That's going to be its own game. People will have to buy that, and the money from that will help fund Abandoned. So then I was like, wait, so what is actually happening? Like, is Abandoned even started, or is this just the prologue? Very confusing.
Abandoned is probably not going to happen. I can't imagine many people are going to buy the prologue, considering the last time that happened, it was Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which led to the Phantom Pain. And no matter what the fuck the reviewers say, that was not a good game or a completed game. It wasn't even completed. It wasn't fucking finished. Phantom Pain. But sure, people paid fucking 30 or for something that was.
I did laugh when he said that in the interview, because I was a bit like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've seen this before. This move sounds
people can
familiar.
draw that. Yeah, people can draw that comparison again. And I think, like, I hear what you're saying, Eric, but I think that a lot of people are going to buy this prologue purely out of morbid curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they would go then and buy Abandoned after would be purely on the merits.
Yeah, like that would make or break the project.
Good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if the prologue turns out that it's great and these guys are talking like legit, and it turns out to be the shit, and it's like, wow, what an experience! I can't wait to play more of that. Then they will get Abandoned. But I think in the first place, they're not going to get prologue because they're excited about it. They're going to get it because they're like, what is this?
Well, the reviewers will get it because the reviewers have to review it, so the reviewers will end up buying it.
No, they won't buy
it. They'll be given a
copy. Yeah.
Well,
reviewers don't buy games.
Well, they know. I don't know. These guys pulling our legs. I also still don't understand PlayStation Live experience real time. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. There was an explanation about it, and I don't.
Yeah, it's just based on the way he like, he.
What is the difference between?
100%. I could see him as being a developer, right? Maybe.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk that he gave that sounded like he knew somewhat what he was talking about.
Yeah. But and someone who's definitely inexperienced in in the area of business.
Hugely inexperienced in PR
Yeah.
and marketing.
Very clear. He definitely sounds like this is like not necessarily a first gig, but first major gig. Honestly, sounds like us, trying to talk shit. Like it's just we don't have the training, I guess, to really communicate the project well, I guess. So it's like, well, okay, so how did the PlayStation relationship happen then? You're talking about this game to these people that are interviewing you, and as someone listened, like when he was talking about that backstory, like I was genuinely like laughing when hearing that, because it just sounded ridiculous.
Right.
It did sound like he was genuinely making it up on the spot. It didn't actually sound like that's actually what this is. And so how did this person who feels like it feels like he can't really communicate the game properly, how did he get this gig with Sony?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's puzzling, and it's interesting to me that Sony at no point, no one from Sony has felt a need to step in and say anything about any of this, because like at some point as well, there's a lot said about them here too, right? And like it's a PS5 exclusive. And it got a lot of attention, like especially like, when it really blew up on Twitter, it was one of the most talked about games.
Yeah.
And I think as well that if everything is true, right, let's take it as it is, then Blue Box shot themselves when they suddenly trended, and it's like, this is good and bad. One, we have a huge audience now, but two, this game is going to fail because everyone thinks it's something that's not. Like, it's like this game is going to be fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
If we don't try and manage expectations here. We've done a terrible job at managing expectations here.
This was the opportunity to manage those expectations.
I honestly think it would be a good idea for them to show whether it's finished or not. And I know that he keeps saying that he wants to show it when it's like finished. I think he should show a little bit of something, so that, because a lot of people think this is a scam,
or even just talk about the gameplay. Like, I mean, you're gonna have like,
well, show the fucking.
But there has to be
of it, like.
Yeah, no, there has to be something.
Yeah, even if it was just like here's
walking in the woods.
Like, remember that was it Beyond Good and Evil, and they just showed wherever that is. But anyway, they showed like the ship, and it was like a camera just showing like the graphics of the area. Like, there was no gameplay. It was just showing you like, here's the artwork.
Yeah, there was 2 trailers for it. Yeah, and then a bit of artwork. Like, yeah, so they just need to release something.
Anything, I think, would, even if I think what would have really sold those interviews personally is if at one point in the interview he screen shared and from his computer showed something.
Yeah.
In that moment, not only would he have been doing an interview, but he would have also been doing a like somewhat reveal or demonstration.
Yeah, because otherwise it
would have alleviated a lot, because a lot of people are still like, this doesn't sound right,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, in today, like when you think about you're wanting to finish this game then and just release it, and hopefully, and you're relying on that prologue, the money from that funding the rest of the game, but you haven't. You're relying so heavily on that prologue, and you're putting all your resources, all your time, all your money into finalizing that, and it could absolutely flop. You should be trying to hype people up for this prologue, even. Like, show them snippets of it, and like, it's like, tell them why they will be wanting to fund the next game. Yeah,
it's interesting because like he talked a lot about how much he believes in it, like he really believes in the game.
I don't.
But he's bad at showing it. He's bad at like I don't know. Anyway, but we'd love to hear from you guys. Maybe you haven't checked out any of the interviews, but basically, if you were following Abandoned before and you're wondering what the fuck happened to it, the guy who runs Blue Box has done interviews online. So just type in Hasan Kahraman interview, and you can either check out the one at IGN or the one with Colin Moriarty. I know a couple of other people shared posts that they also got to interview him, but they didn't always record it. It was mainly just they got to talk about it, and I think it was just him trying to manage, because a lot of YouTubers were putting up basically posts saying it's a scam, it's not real, don't buy it, it's never coming. And when that started to really pick up I think he felt the need to actually talk to people to try and repair some relationships, basically. But make up your own mind on it and let us know what you think about it, either on YouTube, down in the comments, or if this is an audio platform, touch base on social media. Just to round this episode off and finish up, what have we been playing recently, or what are we jumping into next when we get a chance to do so? Because I can see Adam going, playing. So obviously you guys know I'm playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. That's going to be the game I'm playing for the next couple of weeks, maybe, as well as doing more side content in Horizon Forbidden West. Eric, what are you playing at the moment, or what are you going to be jumping into next?
Well, I still have to finish off Horizon Zero Dawn. Haven't touched that in a while.
You mean Forbidden West, right?
What'd I say?
Zero Dawn.
That name just rolls off the tongue way easier than Forbidden West.
It does.
Horizon 2. I'm playing that at the moment, and once that's done, then I'll have to go to finish off Guardians of the Galaxy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Adam, what would you be jumping into in maybe a year's time?
I have to. Well, I was just looking at like all the games I need to finish off. Things like Life is Strange, True Colors is probably the one thing. Once I get time, that's the one I'm going to be jumping back into.
Well worth it, and
a
not
bit of Halo
either.
Infinite Online. I can't wait to jump back into that.
Excellent. And let us know what you guys are playing, as well as giving us your thoughts on everyone brought up here today, like Abandon, the state of that, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Are you playing it? What do you think about it? And what IP would you love to see Lego touch next? What Lego game do we want made? Start a movement, get a hashtag. We want Lego video game properties. And let us know. So if you're watching this YouTube, again, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this discussion, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, click that notification bell so that you can check out all future episodes. If you're listening on audio platforms, then please touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to give your take on everything that we brought up here today. Thank you very much for checking out this episode. We'll be back next week with another one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have they done Lego Transformers?
No. That would be good.
You're a genius. I want to play as Lego with Wiki.